This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Well, good morning and welcome to the Grow Omaha Show, brought to you by D&M Roofing and Siding and Dingman's Collision Center. My tenacious co-host, Jeff Beals, is taking the weekend off to perform in show choir at Millard West. I'm his usual sidekick, Trenton Magid, filling in his big seat and big shoes to make this show better than ever. However, I am pleased to welcome Doug Kindig onto the show. Doug has served as mayor of La Vista since 2005, going on about 18 years, and he also is a relationship manager at 5 Points Bank. Welcome, Doug.
Well, good morning, Trent. Thanks for having me.
You and I go way back, and we've done a lot of deals together. We've done multiple deals at 5 Points Bank. You've been there for
about 6 years now.
Several years now, and it fits you well. You've got a lot of contacts in the community, but you are you're equally as known for having the reins of the city of La Vista, Nebraska, and you've got a great staff over there, and it's always fun to work. And I've done a number of projects as a real estate broker
right.
and an occasional developer, and so I look forward to informing our listeners on all the activity and the new developments going on in La Vista and hearing about 5 Points Bank. But first, we are going to have the development news of the week, sponsored by Eagle Mortgage. Eagle Mortgage has been in business for over 30 years. Holly and her team are licensed mortgage brokers serving Nebraska and Iowa. They give you free consultations, get pre-approved conventional VA, FHA loans. They're right at the corner of 114th and Davenport, just south of 114th and Dodge. You can reach them online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. Nothing says that you have the ability to buy a house than a pre-approval letter from Eagle Mortgage. New restaurant news. Goose 120 has opened for business at 12051 Blondo Street in the former Rivera space. Everybody loved Rivera's. Did you like Rivera? Did you ever go to Rivera's?
Yeah, I did one time, yeah.
And so it'll be big shoes to fill as well. Goose 120 is an Italian restaurant with the same ownership of Taxi's Grill and Bar, Stokes, and the Stoke and Goat, and the Twisted Fork down in the Old Market. It's run by Restaurants, Inc. Here's an interesting name. The Fat Putter plans to open soon on the first floor. I think it's about 14,000 feet on the corner of 10th and Capitol. It's in the Capitol building, 901 Capitol, which is a big apartment complex, beautiful project that Mary and Rodrigo Lopez developed. It's a 6-story mixed-use building on the southeast corner, 10th and Capitol. Indoor mini golf business is part of locally owned Let'sGoPutt.com, which also operates prehistoric putt at 111th and Q and medieval putt at 209th and Cumberland Drive. And I know they're working on a West Omaha location to be announced. And they also have Lincoln and Kansas City. There must be some big money. Have you taken your grandkids to one of those?
You know, we were up at the prehistoric one at 111th and Q, so good family entertainment.
They tried to name that a number of years ago Jurassic Putt, and apparently certain movie types did not like that.
Well, they're a little uptight, so, you know.
Another entertainment experience, the former Westwood Plaza 8 movie theaters that sits in the back of the office supply store, will likely become an indoor climbing gym. The 24,335 square foot space is located at 2809 South 125th Street. The planned renovation still needs Omaha City Council approval. If this was in La Vista, would you approve it?
You know what? I'm glad to see that a theater is getting reused, and
we don't need more movie theaters.
Obviously, their market has changed, and it's really shifted to the to exercise and self-health. So, good addition to that.
Yeah, I hope they get it approved. So, if Brinker Harding and friends, Amy Melton, if you guys are listening, you should give it the approval. Cup and Cone is opened at 15420 South 2nd Street in downtown Bennington, the locally owned shop. serves coffee, tea, smoothies, Italian sodas, hot chocolate, and as the name would indicate, ice cream. I haven't been to Bennington lately. I need to get out there.
You know, for a small city to have a locally owned or a sole proprietor business opening up, that's really, as you know, is what creates development. So,
yeah,
I wish them well out there.
Speaking of locally owned businesses, I love how I know I'm not sure we need more coffee shops, but I love how Scooters isn't afraid to go next to Starbucks.
I tell you what, for the Omaha market, Scooters maybe the number one choice.
Yeah, absolutely. So Scooters will hold another ribbon cutting held it yesterday actually on February 10th, and new Regency Landing location, 107th and Pacific, and they've got some new businesses going in there. Nola Pizza. I hope they put another hotel there. I think that Access Commercial's done a really good job. They're getting office tenants in there now. What was the restaurant that they replaced? Cork, Twisted Cork is back, and it's good. Russell Speeder Car Wash is not afraid of all the big giants coming into town, and they will hold a ribbon cutting on March 1st, 2 p.m. for its new location at 4730 Hamilton Street. So that's a unique location. And finally, on development news of the week, people have heard about the Omaha Henry Dooley Zoo and Aquarium has announced the $21 million overhaul of its Hubbard orangutan forest. It's the latest blockbuster attraction at the zoo, and it consistently ranks among the world's best zoos. And have you seen the baby elephants?
I did on the news.
Oh, I've been out there a couple times over the last year, and I am so impressed with the stakeholders in the zoo and what they're doing. The zoo currently has 4 orangutans, but the new habitat will be larger and will allow them to add to their breed. And renovations actually started this past September, but it'll open in May of 2024. There'll be a curved acrylic wall, which will let guests stand eye to eye with the orangutans. Educational elements will be displayed inside the attraction, teaching guests about the care of orangutans and about biodiversity in Southeast Asia. And I think they're going to work on a way that people can communicate with them, whether it's touchscreen or something like that. They're still developing the technology, but I'm all for it. So I think that is a pretty cool thing. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to reintroduce Chip Reidmann, who is a contributor to the show. And he's going to talk about some new school development, but he's also going to talk about one of his passions, and that's vinNebraska. It's a not-for-profit organization that drinks wine, and they bring in many vineyards, and then they also raise money. So you're listening to Trenton Magid and guest co-host Doug Kindig right here on 1110 KFAB News Radio.
Files Podcast, a leading exorcist and demonologist shares stories of disturbing and vicious cases of possession. For the last 2 decades, Father Carlos Martins has encountered
our office. T. Hansen, he's at the Pavilion down to is where his office is. I drive by there all the time, and it's nice to see what's going on at the old Walmart place. There was that Astro Theater going up. We bid on that thing like I'm retired now. We bid on it twice. Still never built it until finally it's going now. Like 2 years after I retire, it's finally going. It's like,
what's that?
The Astro Theater.
Are you guys working on that?
We were not. We were at one time. We thought we had it, but then was it Lund Ross that's building it? I can't remember.
Yes.
But it just got back. Well, COVID hit.
Yeah.
And just everything got stopped.
Yeah, it was supposed to be built before COVID.
Yeah. And
we're gaining momentum there with our development. Actually, here, more and more businesses are starting to come in, do tenant finish now.
My sister was telling me there's like 3 construction companies all working on top of each other, and it's a madhouse. She said.
Yeah, Jay Dunn is our project manager of construction, and they're doing all the coordination with Lund Ross and because it all intermingles. And
Yeah, isn't there is it Samson that's there, or is it how?
well, Samson would be doing our parking garage,
That's okay.
which is a
Hi, it's Gary
stone throw away from this development.
Right.
So everything's on time. Everything into summer. They expect their first concert
When's the passage in the summer?
into summer.
When's the passageway getting built underneath?
Well,
The area locations, there are 6 of them.
you had some notes on that, but
Can we talk
we'll
about
do design work. Yeah, we'll start doing design work on that and open up that underpass next year, and we'll start that design work this year. And then because we got federal money for that, and you've got to jump through.
It's an underpass too. Going underneath 84th Street? Is that what you mean?
Except
Really?
we're opening up. It's going to be more of a bridge. It's not going to be a 10-foot underpass. We're opening up the entire area.
And then you go to Brentwood.
Well, it would be to where our current pool is.
Okay.
So it'd
okay.
And
be
you're rebuilding a new pool?
back in the corner. Yeah, it won't be there. It'll be located further to the west. But that'll end up, that'll be parking. That'll be a place that we can do community events on that side. And then it'll go under the bridge, and they'll take you into the park area, and then obviously there's access up into the retail area up above. So
30 seconds, and you'll have about 10 or 11 minutes.
Perfect.
When a storm hits your commercial property,
Just like I planned it.
to the storm and the insurance process, the D&M Roofing is on your side and has been for 50 plus years. With services like our free no-cost risk management for commercial properties, we provide preventative analysis to potential damage, repair, and documentation of any issues found. Does your commercial roofing company do that? D&M Roofing. Find us online at dandmroofing.com. Let's get that fixed.
I talked some more about that transgender bill for minors and talked with Scott Baio on a different issue. It's all on the Vintage Voorhees podcast.
That's for a different show.
On the Scott Voorhees page at kfab.com.
yeah, just stay away.
And welcome back to the Grow Omaha Show, brought to you by D&M Roofing and Dingman's Collision Center. I'm Trenton Maggot. My usual co-host, Jeff Beals, is exercising his show choir chops at Millard West. He may actually be in the audience and not be performing like he used to do at Westside High School when I didn't. I am here with Doug Kindig, the mayor of Omaha and relationship manager at...
No, the mayor of La Vista. Gene will get mad at me for that.
Sorry, Gene.
Excuse him, Gene.
That's easy to say because this is Grow Omaha. The mayor of La Vista for 18 years and a relationship manager at 5 Points Bank. Thanks for the correction.
You bet.
And I'd like to introduce another friend of the show, which is Chip Reidmann. Chip had a long career at T. Hansen Construction and various jobs within the construction industry in Omaha. But you have a newer passion now, which is called vinNebraska. Tell us about that.
First, thanks you and Trenton for letting me come onto the air. I really appreciate it.
Welcome back.
You and Jeff, and it's nice to get the opportunity to promote this event. It's been a long time passion. I've been probably going to it as an attendee for 15 to 20 years. We're at 31, 32 years now this event's been held in Omaha. It is a wine tasting and dinner and auction event. It's a 2-night event. We partner with a charity. We rotate the charities. At this time, we're working with the Stevens Center. We were with them last year, this year, and we're going to go with a third year with them next year. And the intention is we bring in vintners from mostly the California, Oregon, Washington. We've had them from Italy. As a matter of fact, we have one from Italy coming this year. And we bring these winemakers in, and it helps draw people in, the big donors, because it's a great event for them. And we raise a lot of money for the Stevens Center. We pulled in more than $250,000, $300,000 last year for the event. So it's a very, very profitable event for the charities. They really like to be involved in it.
Stevens Center is a great organization.
It is a great organization. They've got the emergency shelter that they have for people that are homeless and they just need something just to get them by for a couple of days. But they also have a supportive housing program for longer-term care for people that need to really get their feet back on the ground, get a job, and get established. They also have the addiction recovery, which is, as we were talking before on air, which might be kind of odd, addiction recovery, and we've got a wine event going for them. But hey, it's all for the charity and all raising money. And they also have a good donation center where they always need supplies, food, clothing, and whatever to help these families that they're assisting to try and get back on their feet.
And our friend John Hoyt has been very charitable with that organization for the John L. Hoyt Recovery Center. Well, that is exciting. So the event is held March 31 and April 1st?
Yes. 2-night event. It's at the downtown Marriott. We've kind of focused in with them for the last year, and probably going forward, we're probably going to look to try and work out a good contract with them. Excellent facility, just gorgeous. It's new. It's up to date. There's a lot of positive vibe with people wanting to go there. Like I said, it's a 2-night deal. Friday night is a gourmet 6-course meal. We're selling by tables. There's no individual tickets for that night, and they're pretty much selling out on that. You will sit at a table with a winemaker or the owner or one of their regional reps coming from the winery, and they will provide the wine for you as you go through each course. They'll do an actual pairing, and it gives them a chance to explain what their wine is and how it works with the food. It's just a really unique experience that you have that. Beforehand, they have a tasting for an hour, so you get a chance that you're going to be able to taste with all the wineries.
Live auction and silent auction, or just
there'll be
silent?
A small auction on Friday. Saturday night, which is open more to the public with individual tickets and tables, that's the grand auction.
Okay, so there are individual tickets on Saturday.
Yes, on Saturday night, and we do expect it to sell out. So it's not like you want to wait.
So vinNebraska, how do they get a hold of you? vinNebraska.com?
vinNebraska.com, yes, at 2 N's in the middle, vinNebraska.com.
Okay.
And you can buy the tickets there, and if you want to go the Friday night and you want to try and get a table if they haven't sold out, there's also contact information there, or you can register there.
Something unique, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just a movie. It's not just a sporting event. It's a drinking event and food tasting event as well. Well, Chip Reidmann, your years of construction, you wanted to give us a little quick update on the school construction in Omaha?
Yeah, usually I've tried to do that for you guys every year. I guess knowing that Jeff is at show choir, so I'll give one shout out to Scott. They're adding an auditorium there. My daughter went to Scott and was in show choir, so I fully understand what he's going through right now, and it is quite a passion with these kids if you've ever been into it. And Scott's never had an auditorium, but they've got a great program for a Class B school. They compete with all the Class A schools. So that's just one little quick shout out I want to give for Scott on that. They're still looking to raise money, though. If you really want to help someone in the community with a show choir program, they could sure use your help. But other than that, the company I worked with, I actually helped them get the job in the very beginning when they're bidding, is going to Gretna high schools and the middle schools, what's going on in that community. They're kind of becoming like the new Elkhorn. They just need schools all the time. It's just constant growth out there.
We love that for economic development because schools have houses, and houses need retail and services.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's going out there big. The high school is going to open this fall. They are starting a middle school construction that'll obviously be helping to feed the new high school. You think it might go the other way around, but their current high school is it's full. I mean, it's always been a Class B school, and now they're Class A because of population. So the school is a little bit overcrowded. So they were due to get a new high school there. Beautiful building, beautiful facility that they're building there. Full size, all the athletic fields, all the gyms, all the auditorium, and everything that you want to see in a new high school.
Great. Well, appreciate that. Is there any other schools?
Well, there is, kind of slipping off the sides, Bellevue University. I don't know if you guys have talked about the new field house going down there. That's a multi-million-dollar project that they're building down there, complete with indoor gyms and indoor facilities, locker rooms, classrooms and everything. So Bellevue University sounds like they're taking a step up. I don't know if this means they're going to want to get more aggressive on the sports side. It seems like everyone is. Iowa Western Community College. You look at UNO's gone Division I. It's becoming.
Well,
important.
I think what's important is we're keeping our youth here. After they graduate from high school, not only do we get them to go through high school, but if we can get them to stay here, work here, or even come back and work here, that's what it's all about. So Chip Reidmann, thank you. vinNebraska, that's 2 N's in the middle, vinNebraska.com for that event. Sounds like a wonderful thing. Thanks for coming back.
Well, thanks for having me.
Well, Doug Kindig, let's start before the break. Let's start in the Southport area. So, Doug Kindig, you've been the mayor for 18 years in La Vista,
right?
And I've worked with you and your staff on a number of projects, represented a lot of developers, and my heart and soul has been into that area where the new sports complex is coming. And tell us about the Nebraska Multi-Sports Complex.
It's an exciting time really in La Vista, but that's one of our shining projects out there. And the Nebraska Multi-Sports Project, it's a private development. The city has taken part in that. We think it's a good investment for our city, but what that's going to generate in the area, they've got 12 fields. They're all lit. The best artificial turf that they can put on it. It'll extend their season. We expect thousands of people out there every day to be practicing, and they'll be hosting a lot of local, regional, even some national tournaments. That all starts in March.
And that's amazing. And you and I have been involved in that.
We have been.
I sold the land on behalf of the McDermotts and their sod farm, 184 acres. Doug has worked tirelessly. You've been a champion of this, and when everybody thought it wasn't going to go or it would go, and I want to give kudos to Mike Castling and Lisa Roskins. They put their money where their mouth is. They stood by this project, and it's not an easy thing to raise money for public projects and private not for profit projects. But this thing is really the last anchor of the overall Southport area, which is about 237 acres plus this 184 acres. And while we're at it, I've got 3 great sites that would be great for retail or office or senior living or anything. I can't do hotels there, but we're still going to have 3 or 4 more hotels in that area, and a couple of them are already in the pipeline.
They've talked to our community development. There could be 3 to 4 more hotels out there. Sarpy Tourism will say that we need the rooms to put people in. And I think with the addition of the multi-sports complex, some other big announcements that this is my tease that are coming, the area out there has really gained momentum, and the stores are starting to follow that. The restaurants, some service industry. You bring people out there and they'll come. So we're excited about that.
And there's been a lot of talk about the 2 big PayPal buildings. A lot of them are working from home. They got kind of a skeleton crew there, and they've been a big part of La Vista for a long time. However, that presents an opportunity, and there's some wonderful tricklings of rumors that a major corporation may come in there and put a lot of employees back into Southport east, and that's only the one side of the road. We haven't even touched on the Southport west side.
Exactly. I've heard the same rumors you do, and sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire, and they become true. So we're looking forward to some announcements down the road, but they're going to bring employees back into the area. That's going to help the restaurants and the bars and everything else. And when you add the multi-sports to that, that's really going to become a popular hub. And we're starting to see that on the west side of Southport with some new businesses announcing. We've got Dirty Dough, which is kind of a gourmet cookie, very popular establishment. Right now they're in Utah, so we'll be their first location really in the Midwest. We've got Jersey's Mike's. With all the traffic out there, I think it's going to be a very successful sandwich shop. Penn Fed is putting in kind of a satellite branch out there. Integrated Windows is putting in a sales floor out there. So, and of course, we've got a coffee shop. Starbucks is already on.
Got to have your Starbucks.
I've already visited it. So.
Smash Park is really...
Smash Park's a big one for us.
And so that'll be 4 acres, about 25,000 feet. Is that gone through city?
It's going through design review right now. They're getting closer. They expect to start construction in the spring. It's a family entertainment area with an emphasis on the outdoors. But the indoors has a 600-seat restaurant or can feed up to that many in the indoor area. And that's going to be, again, a great addition. There's an office complex that is still looking out there along with everything else. So Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. We're gonna when we come back from the break, we're gonna talk about other things going on in La Vista on the 84th Street corridor. But all this new construction needs new roofing, and I would highly suggest D&M Roofing. It's the company that I've always used. They're putting a flat roof on our family home right now because there's a flat roof on the non-mansard roof part, and they've always lived up to their reputation. And I could not. I cannot give them higher marks when it comes to quality. Their assessment program. They'll look at your roof for free. They'll give you analysis, and then they'll take pictures and drones. And that way, if there is a catastrophic event, D&M Roofing will have that footage on your portal, and you can show it to your insurance company. So dndmroofing.com. Definitely give them a try. Well, you're listening to Trenton Magid and Doug Kindig on the Groma Show right here on 1110 KFAB, and we'll be right back in a few minutes.
We have run our business for years by helping the vehicle owner retain the value of their vehicle.
How many people do they have come to the dinner?
The first night will be approximately 250.
Yeah,
The second night is like 450.
Wow.
450 to 500.
I think it's just grown.
250.
What's your role in it?
On the board.
On the board?
Yep.
You just got so you're going on Boomer to talk about it too?
Yeah. Well,
Does
I'm
Boomer
on
have an office?
I'm sorry.
Does Boomer have a broadcast studio?
Yeah, 120th and Dodge, roughly, between North 120th and Nicholas. Yeah, I'm on a show out there about every week, as I guess you'd say a guest. It's not my show, but he keeps letting me come back, so that's his mistake. So but they go from 11 to 12 is what that program is. They broadcast all the Iowa games. So unfortunately, I have to deal with people that are Iowa fans. So they're not big Creighton fans, they're not big Nebraska fans, so that's why I have to go and antagonize them on weird stuff. So let remind them who we are. But I'm going to go ahead and head out. Unless you
Thank you. No, thank you.
It's nice
Appreciate
meeting
going
you.
in.
Thank you
Good to see
again.
you. Yep.
Good luck. Sounds like you guys have got it now.
Yeah, we do. It's good.
That's what makes it great. So.
Save wildlife habitats across the state and fund
Yeah, we're already always looking at next year. Trying to get Mary out to give us a date for next year. So
Well, if you can't make that work out, I'll introduce us to our GM at the embassy.
Well, we've talked to the embassy, and they haven't been real receptive to us or whatever.
Well, if you ever reach out again, that's not acceptable,
Yeah,
obviously.
it's because it's a charity, we're trying to raise money, some of the restrictions are difficult. Although, I love the facility, and I think the parking is great, I really wanted to go there. But the other side issue is the winemakers, they want to be closer to downtown.
Yeah.
Because and they're the ones we have to really appeal to. And I'm not saying it's dead out in that area, but it doesn't have quite the old
It's
market
coming.
appeal.
It
But it's coming.
doesn't have the old market area,
Yeah,
you're
but
right.
you're right, it's coming, and there will be a point when that will fill in out there, and there will be reason to
Well,
go
good
to
luck.
it.
That's awesome. You got company from Italy coming.
Yeah, there's 20 plus wineries that are coming. So
Boone's Farm? Is that what, Boone's Farm one of them?
No.
No, okay.
As a matter of fact, we don't have any Nebraska wineries at all.
Really?
No, we don't appeal, we don't go for them.
You were joking, right?
I was joking.
He's joking.
Is Franzia coming? The box wine?
No, they will not be there.
They won't be there.
They won't be there. No, this is,
That's what makes it a unique event, is bringing in.
they're pouring wines that are $60 to $100 a bottle.
Yeah.
So it's very high end. So, Partnership for Kids is the same. They all of a sudden went for the same night, with wine and hop night or something like that. And we sponsored them, so
There's gotta be,
we're irritated.
I've said for
about that.
25 years, there needs to be a master calendar that people real time. There's a thing called Vista that tracks that's over in Ralston that tries to have different events and stuff. But there should be a one main. I own OmahaCalendar.com, and I've never done anything with it because I haven't figured out someone to run it.
It's just Lisa Lakovic,
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so she told me there's, I don't know what magazine, the Omaha magazine or whatever, but they've got a calendar that has all the charity events on it. And I know we've started looking at maybe
Online?
online to try and get ourselves themselves on that.
Metro Monthly or?
It's a year-long calendar. It's a website. Go to it and you can look down the road and see all the
See if
events
you can find
for the
it.
year.
Ask her to see if you can find it.
I'll email it to you. She gave it to me. I don't have it on my phone, but I'll try to remember to email it to you so you can look at it.
Thanks. Take care. Thanks,
Take
Jeff.
care.
You bet.
Sounds like you, Raj.
There's your weather. I'm Roger Olson.
A senior who'd like a $12,000 college scholarship? Well, be sure to tell them that the Salvation Army is now seeking nominations for the DJ's Hero Award scholarships. We're looking for Nebraska high school seniors who have overcome adversity and who are doing the most good in their communities. The application deadline is March 8th. Nominate your hero today. Just go to djsheroapp.org for more information. That's djsheroapp.org. djsheroapp.org.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools.
This is always a long break. Gotta pay for the show.
Which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces.
I'm really excited about this thing that's going on. It's a Holocaust survivor, world-renowned artist, Samuel Back, who they're opening up a kind of a pop-up museum in Exarban, and so it's going to be part of that.
That's neat.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Our trip to New York, probably of all things. I mean, the Yankee game was a big highlight, but we went to the Holocaust Museum.
All right.
We spent about 3 hours. It's a very sobering.
In New York, I haven't been there.
It's a very sobering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your
What's
doctor
your shirt
about
say?
Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com.
I came, I saw, I want to go home.
Everyone says they like working at their local company. Then it comes time to get that home loan. You know, it's just the biggest investment most of us ever make. And they grab their phone and start playing with apps. Don't. Contact Holly and her fun and professional
My father-in-law
staff
had
right here in
to
Omaha at
lose
Eagle
some
Mortgage
weight
for your mortgage
several
or
years ago.
refinance and let them beat the national
my
lenders on rates and
wife
service.
got him the
Eagle
shirt that said
Mortgage
Beanie
online
Big.
at
I don't know what it was, but it was I came, I saw, I had a salad.
All the radio stations you love, every playlist to match your mood, the podcasts that everyone's talking about. If it's on the iHeartRadio app, it's free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. iHeartRadio.
Okay, here we go.
And welcome back to the Groma Show. I'm Trenton Maggot. Jeff Beals will be back with us next week. I'm here with Doug Kindig, the mayor of La Vista and relationship manager at 5 Points Bank. And it is time for the Noddle Real Estate Development Spotlight. Noddle Companies is a full-service, Omaha-based developer that is in many states. You know them as Exarban Village, developing Exarban Village, First National Business Park, numerous developments. They're getting into residential development now, and they're developing Steel Ridge North, Steel Ridge South at Highway 370 and Interstate 80. But what I'm really proud about Noddle Development this week is they are very charitable, and their philanthropic endeavors go far. With University of Nebraska at Omaha, UNO, they have opened at Exarban Village. It's the old backwood space, a museum. It's the Samuel Bach Museum, the Learning Center. They had their grand opening on February 4th, and they have an exhibit called In the Beginning, the Artist Samuel Bach, and it is February 4th through June 4th, 2023. Get down to Exarban Village, and this is Samuel Bach, world-renowned artist and Holocaust survivor. There'll be 99 works featured. And just to give you a little bit about Mr. Bach, he was born in 1933 in Vilna, Poland, at a crucial moment in modern history. On the eve of World War II, Bach lived under Soviet and Germany occupation from 1940 to 1944. They discovered his talent in the ghetto of Vilna when he was 9 years old. So this is something that is really neat. And so thank you to UNO and to Noddle Companies for doing that. And check out noddlecompanies.com. Also, we appreciate Dingman's Collision Center. I've been friends with them for about 25 years, and they are family-owned and operated since 1996. They have 4 locations, Northwest, Midtown, Omaha Southwest, and Papillion. Dingman's Collision Center not only does body repair, they also do mechanical repair at 120th and Maple. So check out Dingman's Collision Center whenever you have the need. It's one of those things where you don't want to have the need, but when you have the need, it would be good. Well, back with Doug Kindig, we talked about the Southport area, and that's going strong. 84th, give us a quick backstory on the 84th Street corridor. Your city of La Vista only runs from Harrison to Giles right there, 1 mile.
Right, in that area there. We expand out a little bit at 96th Street, but boy, I don't know if there's a quick story. You had mentioned I'm in my 18th year as mayor. The old Walmart that was there announced that they were leaving before I was mayor. And we knew that when they left, it was going to cause a huge void in our city, and other businesses in that area would probably follow and leave. So through a long vision plan, the input of our citizens and city staff and council, we came up with an idea that we needed to make it some type of a destination area, and partnering with City Ventures has helped create that area, that it's going to draw people from not only Omaha area but from out of state. The Astro Music venue is really going to be our cornerstone of that project.
That's fixing to open. So you took an 18-hole golf course, or
it was a 9-hole.
It was 9-hole. Okay, and now it's a park.
It's going to be a park. It's going to be a place for our citizens to gather. When you're at the Astro Music, you're going to be out looking at that new park. It's got a lake on it, obviously.
Beautiful landscaping.
Yeah, beautiful landscaping. It's going to be a very attractive and a very welcoming area and stuff. So really looking forward to it. Again, the Astro, I think they could have their first concert. They're expecting that by late summer of this year.
Oh, my gosh.
It can hold up to 2,500 people inside and up to 5,000 people outside in the amphitheater.
And
so
you're already working on the second parking garage, right?
Yeah, in the second parking garage, they're running ahead of schedule. They should be done by July to help facilitate all the traffic. And we're starting to see restaurants do tenant finish. We're starting to see some other businesses move in and get ready. So it's been a long time coming, close to 20 years, but we're starting to see the fruition of our efforts.
Well, I'm excited for that because you got the apartments are filling up over there, and the retail's filling up, and that corridor is really picking up. And there's properties all over there that kind of step up their game and remodel and do things like that. One of the office tenants that should be going in over there at City Center in La Vista is Turf Tank.
Yeah.
And I checked them out online, and imagine a really souped-up lawnmower that has a big capacity for paint, and then you marry that with GPS and programming, and it can draw all the lines and graphics on a sports field, whether it's soccer or football or lacrosse or whatever. And Turf Tank seems like some pretty serious technology.
It does. We're anxious to have them come in. I've heard that they're going to bring about 20 employees to start with. It's great to have that daytime traffic, but the time that this company will save schools and other nonprofits that run sports fields and everything, it's the new thing as we move into the future here. So excited to learn more and more about what they've got.
And so City Center is going to be connected to the west side of 84th Street where the current pool is, right?
Yeah, we're gonna we'll have to build a new pool. It'll get shifted to the west of where it's at now. Well, we're going to open up the 84th Street, create a bridge there that will allow people to park on the west side. We'll be able to have our big community events. Our Salute to Summer will probably move back to that area when done. And then they'll be able to access the park, and then they'll be able to have accessibility to all the retail and bars and everything up above.
So this corridor is really the de facto downtown because La Vista's never really had a downtown.
Yep, we never had that. And the one thing our citizens said when we started this vision was they wanted a collecting point. They wanted some place they could go and see their neighbors. We didn't have that. We grew out of a small subdivision, and so we're trying to recreate that for the citizens, and it's exciting. I got to tell you, I'm usually pretty calm, but really looking forward to what's coming down there.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take our last break. It's a shorter break, and if we have any more time, we'll talk more about La Vista and Five Points Bank. But what we're going to feature is the lightning round brought to you by Turner Construction. So we'll be right back. This is Trenton Magid with guest co-host Doug Kindig on 1110 KFAB.
When you're in the mood to hear some classic country like...
So is it Jeff's daughter that's in the show?
She's not yet. 3.3 The Wolf on our free iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, she's, yeah.
Do you have someone giving you a no-cost risk assessment of your roof on your commercial property? If not, you should. Hi, this is Eric O'Brien with D&M Roofing. No-cost risk management is a free service we offer. Let us come take a look at your property and make sure you don't have any damage from the recent storms. If you do, our experienced team will help you through the process.
So, Amy, are you a Pink Floyd fan?
Yeah. Why?
My wife's not, but
that's
she'll
the thing
go.
we're going to. April.
Oh, yes, I know.
She'll go. She'll go.
What's the song you love? Comfortably Numb or no? Wish You Were There.
I Wish You Were Here. Oh, that's the best song in the world. Seriously.
I still listen to Pink Floyd all the time.
For fresh eats. This is easy. Just go see my friends at Foxy Sushi. It's high quality sushi.
I have all my events.
I went. Trenton invited me when.
Casual dining done right. Stop squirreling away every
Was that Roger Walters?
Oh, The Wall? We saw The Wall and they tore down The Wall?
Yeah.
Where was that at? Was that?
It was at CHI.
Was it?
It was at
That was
CHI.
unbelievable.
You invited me late. I skipped out on a chamber dinner that night.
It was worth it.
To go. I went to the chamber dinner and then I pretended I got a fake phone call from an emergency from my daughter. She broke down on the interstate. And I went down to the concert.
I don't remember that. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
This is Eric with D&M Roofing. When a storm hits your commercial property, you feel overwhelmed to the storm and the insurance process. But D&M Roofing is on your side and has been for 50 plus years. With services like our free no-cost risk management for commercial properties, we provide preventative analysis to potential damage, repair, and documentation of any issues found. Does your commercial roofing company do that? D&M Roofing. Find us online at dnmroofing.com. Let's get that fixed.
Okay, here we go. We have about 7 minutes. Perfect.
What does your Douglas County Sheriff think about the annual argument over legalizing marijuana? Hear my interview with Aaron Hansen. Podcast link, morning news page, kfab.com.
And welcome back to the Grow Omaha Show, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. I'm Trenton Magid. Jeff Beals will be back with me next week, and I am joined by Doug Kindig, the mayor of La Vista and relationship manager at 5 Points Bank. It is now time for the lightning round, sponsored by Turner Construction. And you know Turner Construction because we always talk about them, but Omaha knows Turner Construction by the giant data center, the Sarpy County data center that is probably a few miles. I mean, they're probably on their 6th or 7th phase now. There's a bridge over Highway 50, and the reason why we like Turner, not only do they sponsor our show, but they're building for the future. Turner Construction, if you're in high school or you're in college, you're looking for the trades, Turner invests in our community. A lot of their employees, probably 40 of them, are indigenous to Omaha, and they're always recruiting. They build projects all over the world, so we highly recommend checking out Turner Construction. Well, Doug, on the lightning round, the Omaha Planning Board last week approved a rezoning request for 3.3 acres on the southwest corner of 120th and 4th Street. The project is part of the Roanoke Business Park being developed by the owners of Mulhall's Nursery. Plans call for a hotel, retail space, including a 14,000 square foot restaurant, sports bar with indoor and outdoor pickleball courts. What is the deal with pickleball courts? Everybody.
It's a lot easier than tennis. It sure has become popular.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear that there's actually people, because of their different strokes than tennis, and people that are used to playing tennis are hurting themselves, and they're having some ailments. So it'll be interesting to see. It's kind of like vaping. Everybody thought vaping was safer than cigarettes, and now they're going to be like, oh, my God, pickleball, it's detrimental. Well, the name of the restaurant pickleball operator has not been yet announced. We believe it's Chicken and Pickle, a Kansas City-based regional chain, indoor-outdoor entertainment centers. They're in Kansas City, Oklahoma City, Dallas, San Antonio, and Wichita. And it's kind of like a small Smash Park is the way I envision it.
Yeah, Smash Parks are going to have outdoor courts.
Yeah, and it's a lot bigger. That'll be about 25,000 square foot building on 4 acres. I thought this was interesting, and this has been a project that's been in the news a long time. A lot of people have worked hard on it. All 5 of Omaha's living mayors, Gene Stothert, Jim Suttle, Mike Fahey, Hal Dobb, and P.J. Morgan, co-authored a recent op-ed piece in the Omaha World-Herald arguing that the downtown-midtown streetcar is critically important investment. The streetcar plan cracks the code. It is designed literally to pay for itself. The mayor said the plan requires no citywide tax rate increase, but instead generates funding to pay for the necessary infrastructure bonds through tax increment financing. So do you have any opinions on I know it's not your jurisdiction, right, but you certainly benefit from it as well.
Well, I think whenever there's growth in the region, it's good for everybody. I think Omaha has been behind on alternative form of transportation. Traveling nationwide, you see it in a lot of other cities and what it can do, the development that will come with it. So, I think this is a long-term vision that those 5 mayors have had, and I think it can be a good thing for that area.
And it's happening, and we're getting the city's tallest building. Right. And there's another company I heard that's looking at downtown, that the electric bikes, that they're talking about having electric bike store down in the old market, and then what they would do is they would sell them, but they'd also rent them like scooters and have them at the hotels and different businesses. And to me, those electric bikes will be safer than scooters.
Oh, I think so, and easier to ride for us individuals that are a little bit gray in our ears.
Absolutely, a little bit safer to have on the street than these scooters that people aren't really familiar with. Flatland Church is in the process of developing 9 acres at 175th and Pacific Street into Flatland Life Center, which will include a community counseling center, space for a center for adults with special needs, a coffee shop. Got to have a coffee shop.
Yeah.
They're not going to have pickleball, to my knowledge. Daycare and public areas. So I am so excited about all the public health projects that are going on. On 72nd Street, there's a big one going in. Children's Hospital just announced a whole facility for mental health, and right, we need that in our community. Not, the pandemic highlighted a lot of areas where we need to improve on. So you're seeing a lot of national, federal funding coming in, but you're seeing a lot of local philanthropists taking on these projects.
You do, and then Sarpy County, they're building a new jail, and they've got a mental health unit in that. It disappeared years ago in the Omaha metro area, and we can see the negative effects of not being able to provide care.
Your daughter Tracy is let's give her a plug. And
my daughter, she's going to save the world. She's always had that attitude, and we need people like that. And she works for an organization that helps rehabilitate individuals who have law issues in their past or are, just not capable of maybe taking that step forward and
may need a break.
They need a break, and so they help place them in the construction industry. They give them it's a long screening process. But yeah.
Along those lines, In Common, a local nonprofit, plans to build a 5-story multifamily building for low and medium income families on a lot at Park Avenue and Poppleton Avenue. According to WOWT, the $25 million project would have 100 apartments and will only accept tenants who make less than 100% of the area's median income. Should be completed by 2025.
Yeah, definitely needed. We talk an awful lot about affordable housing, but with construction costs of ground and everything else, what does affordable housing really mean? This project here truly fills the need.
You've probably noticed it at 5 Points Bank with the interest rates rising. It's a lot harder to make the projects pencil out. I mean, there's a lot of cash in our market, and a lot of people that are building out of cash, and maybe they'll finance later or do adjustable rate mortgages.
Yeah, we're seeing still a healthy loan portfolio, but things are slowing down.
Sounds good. Well, that music is playing, and that means that we're out of time. So join Jeff Beals and Trent Mag next week. I want to thank Chip Reidmann and Doug Kindick for coming on the show today. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Trent. Appreciate it.
Have a great week, everybody.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.